How could this happen to me? There we go. Mike, good, better, light. One of them's on. Guess we're mood lighting today. What else do we got? Cat incoming. Headphones, those are important. Where'd those go? Ah, 1 second. I swear we're ready for this. Hi, kitty cat. Okay. Mood lighting. We're lighting the mood. Hey, you wanna come up? Watch your head. Oh, good job. Ow, ow, ow. These are not pants with a strong cat claw protection layer, and your nails get sharp so fast I just did them, I thought. Okay, we're gonna put this one in. We're gonna turn on some game sound. It should be on-ish. Welcome back to Wednesday. Hello. Happy middle of the week. I'm Hazel. I'm starting a fresh week of streams. We got Miss Kira the kitty cat here. We got some mood lighting. We got an anonymous gift sub. Thank you very much. Grats, Anchor Jim. Finally got started on the Heroic Raid store today in Remix. Nice. Good morning. How is Gilmore Girls? I didn't see it, but I did watch half of The Matrix. Saw the totemic enhancement shaman stuff. Disappointed. Oh no! I meant to look at the hunter stuff, but I started reading the article and it didn't have any hunter changes in it, so then I got distracted and moved on. I have to show you where I'm at in Remix. I'm so happy with it. Hermog's alright. I've been trying to wear some of these sets that I've been buying. Oh, hang on a second. You guys are looking at the wrong screen. You guys are looking at the wrong screen. I've got WoW running twice. That's not... Oh, one of them's beta. That's fine. Alright, we killed that one. There you go. That's better. Now we're getting somewhere. Half of a great movie. What happened to the other half? I think Moose was losing his marbles. Moose just couldn't settle down. He was just looking for something. Non-stop rumbling, romping. And usually the last resort cheat code to get him to calm down is just to give him some time alone. And then he'll realize that he's tired and pass out. But then we never turn the movie back on. Squidgy, item level check. Gotta log in and see. Got HCHOF ran it as 208. I've seen 109 come up pretty often these days. Healers are pretty much, I don't want to say useless, but if there's enough geared people in the group, you don't really need them. Movie sent him into an existential crisis. Sometimes he just gets, I think it's when our routine's off. I don't know if we were watching the movie at a weird time or something, but sometimes he just can't quite settle down. I am presently, as of this moment, item level 464.6. Thank you very much. My weapon is 542. I believe it's had its penultimate upgrade. I can't upgrade it yet because I need to do the rest of my gear, but then the next level will be the last. So I want to see just how close I can crank it today, because I bet if we really believe and we do a lot of raids and dailies, we can get this ship online. Alright, let's pick up our dailies, let's pick up our Fluby, and let's get this thing started. I'm going to probably prioritize dailies and then raids and do world bosses maybe at the end, because world bosses aren't really good bronze. They're great threads. Oh, gas, no breaks, that's right. But the bronze is kind of an afterthought with those. Saga on a 10 stream streak. Oh, yes. Thank you and Fluby for carrying my Age Siege group yesterday. Oh, were you in that one? Nice. I wanted, we ended up doing a throne as well. But yeah, that Siege group was fun. I really wanted a full Siege clear for bones. I'm up to 22 of them. I need 38 to buy everything. But I could buy Tusks of Manaroth if I had the extra bronze, which I don't right now because we're still upgrading gear, but we will. Were you the Warlock? Given how wonky scaling is in Remix, how difficult is Mythic Siege really? I don't know. I haven't tried it. Yes, Warlock. So much more within news since your last stream. What did we learn? I was working on a news list, but the main thing that I had was the affixes and the I had affixes and I had, what else happened since? Hang on, am I queued for a scenario? No water. Hunter reworks. Oh yeah, that was the thing that I tried to read, but then the details weren't in the post that I clicked on. We got the release date after your stream? No. We had the release date on stream for sure. Raid testing, and then the subsequent rescheduling of raid testing. Thank God. It was gonna be so much. I looked at the first version of the raid testing schedule, and I looked at my calendar, and I went, no. Okay. You know, listen, we're just gonna have to, like, order a booster juice or something with, like, some of the extra caffeines in them, and it'll get going. New Mythic Plus affixes, which are controversial. Controversial? I thought they were kind of boring, but, like, outgearable. I don't know, like, what they can do as an affix that won't be controversial unless they say, you know, like, hitting the purple mob spits out candy that gives you buffs. Maybe he does more damage, oh no. Someone on Discord tagged you. No, I'll have to dig for it later. My Discord notifications are a mess and I never get them. I've had like a perma notification icon that I can't get rid of for like years. Okay. Scenario number 1. Talk to the boss. Here, I'll go right, because Flabby can solo the thing pretty easy. I keep upgrading my gear and I keep thinking this next upgrade, that's when I'm really going to do good damage. And the damage is getting better. I can do in single target on a raid with a raid boss with a cooldown somewhere in the range of like 4 mil, maybe up to like 5-ish. But I'm thinking these last couple gear upgrades are going to be a big deal, because I was talking to Flabby about which things in Remix that he got really felt like big breakpoints for his power. And he was saying that, like, the threats are good, but mainly it was just about the gear. Getting 476 is a huge part of your power. Threads don't hurt, but you're not going to have anything else that feels quite as noticeable as getting that last damage upgrade. Only 5 mil damage. It's because I'm sitting here looking at details in Raid of Flabby doing 20 mil. So I'm doing like 25% of the next highest player. It'll really skew your your internal meter. Happy Wednesday, Hazel. Good to see you. Happy Wednesday. Oh no, the door's not open yet. That's why. Not looking forward to the one that makes the caster mobs have more haste. Non-mana mobs have thorns. Either not going to do any damage or it's just going to rip melee apart. His name is Flooby. I don't know if these affixes, the new ones, are the first tier affix or the second tier affix. Because if they're the affix that only kicks in at plus 10 keys, then a lot of people are never going to see them. Yeah. Okay. I can't really hear a whole lot of sound. Did I turn music off? Maybe I just turned it down. Yeah. Something like that. But I'm going to be doing a lot of raid today on stream because I want as much bronze as I can possibly get for cranking my gear. And I'm probably going to want to keep doing like full heroic tours for as long as I can really stomach it, because that's going to be my main bronze income at level 70. Is just doing your dailies and then your heroic tour. It's good bronze per hour if you get into like fast groups. And I'm gonna need, once I finish upgrading all my gear, then I'm gonna need to spend my bronze on all of the stuff. I haven't deleted, I've just turned off for the moment the, join that queue. We're still in queue for that one. I've turned off for the moment the WeakAura that's like tracking my bronze shopping. I go under not tracked and I look for Pandaria bronze completion, and then I take off the never button so that I see it, I don't know, here. And I can see I've got all the mounts, most of the toys, not many of the heirlooms. It's 88k to buy all the heirlooms. And then I've been catching up on Raid Finder sets. I've been kind of dumping bronze into those. I've got all the dungeon sets apparently. And then close to all the world sets. But I'm trying not to finish up the world set vendor because a lot of those are cheap. And sometimes you just have like an extra like 1200 bronze you want to spend. So I feel like, especially... Nope, that's all the thoughts that were in my head. They're all gone. People complain about bronze, but it has so many people at a chokehold. I'm finding it very motivating. I am enjoying the bronze farm right now. There may come a time when I feel burnt on it, because if my gear is almost already upgraded, we can assume that on this character I've farmed somewhere in the neighborhood of 600k bronze. Approaching 600k bronze. I'm going to need to do that, like, more than that much again to clean out the vendors if that's what I want. Although I'm not going to be heartbroken if I quit before I finish cleaning out the vendors, especially if the things remaining are things like raid sets that I can just kind of farm in the raids in the War Within anyway. But you can get bronze pretty quick when you're fully geared. And I'm not even fully geared yet. You can really kind of crank. So I'm hoping that I will have enough fun. I'd say showing off, but in Heroic raid clears, eventually you're going to have most people at 476. The real struggle is going to become the normal raid clears, because increasingly the people that are really strong are going to be in Heroic only because that's much better for bronze farming. And once you're level 70, you don't have an incentive to do the normals, especially when they would prevent you from doing the Heroic. So they're still going to go okay, because you'll have people that are leveling that have got good level scaling in them, but they're not going to be, unless you have somebody to carry you, they're not going to be as auto-runnable. I think eventually normals are going to be on average slower than heroics, because all of the really geared people will be in heroics. If only the wrist upgrade cost 30 less bronze per upgrade. Does it track how much bronze you've collected like the game tracks gold? I don't think so. It tracks how much bronze I have, and it shows how much I've spent. But that Wikura I don't think has any purview over bronze that I've spent on my gear. Need the most expensive mount still. Yuck. I'm missing... Between tusks and the 2 toys I'm missing, that's like a huge chunk of bronze right there. I bought one of the toys already on a character that I power leveled with the mailbox trick. I used that bronze and I bought the gastropod shell. I bought Jerry the Snail. And I don't think I knew exactly what Jerry the Snail did before then. But I did purchase him. And he can kill pets. Someone else can summon their favoriteest pet, and you can run over it with Jerry the Snail, and you can moiter it. Okay, this one is slow for me because I get distracted and overwhelmed, but we should be able to at least do things quickly. I know some of it's wave-based also. It's just that sometimes there's a marker on the map. Oh, I haven't defeated all the vermin yet, that's why. They're gonna ask me to read! Full run of all raids, all 4 siege difficulties got me around 100k bronze, 15k threads a day. That is the one thing I've not yet been brave enough to do, is more than 1 siege clear in a day. I can, in a good group, make my peace with full clearing Siege of Orgrimmar in a day. But going back and doing it again, and then again, and then again and again? Oh, I don't know, man. There's only so much sanity in the tank here. This fishbowl is not all the way filled. Is brewing? Something like that. I only got 2 of 3 dungeon boss credit for the looking for group quest. I wonder if I was just not close enough to some of them, or didn't tag them, or sometimes they just get funky. Being 476, blowing everything up made Siege quite fun for me. The trouble with Heroic Siege is you need more than just one person doing that. You want to have a couple on hand to make it like actually fast. Boost 20 else to 70 the time it takes to clear from Siege once, right? Excited for the WoW launch date sooner than I expected. I'm happy to have like a concrete date to put on a calendar and kind of count down towards. I saw the Wowhead counter for like days until early access, and I was like, oh man, it's like just a little over 2 months. It's gonna go so fast. And that's for like the thing dropping. That doesn't even take into account pre-patch. Yeah, we need I want a pre-patch date, but I bet they're not ready to share one. I bet they don't know yet. Whoa. I just kicked an earbud out of my ear. All the way back there. And honestly, my cat's in my lap, so I'm not even gonna get up and get that right now. That's just how I listen to the cool mop tunes, and then also, you know, alerts. If I start missing subs more than normal, just start spamming me in chat. I don't know, speaking of, if I thanked Boss330 for the 7-month reset. End of July, early August. I'm guessing a 4-week pre-patch, but it is just a guess. I don't know anything. What % chance do you give them delaying the expansion again? 5. I'm pretty confident that it's going to happen when they say it happens. They've had a pretty good grip on their content pipeline. They've been hitting their deadlines. I wouldn't expect them to miss this one, especially when things on the beta are, yeah, it's beta and it's a little buggy, but like by and large it's in and it's mainly working. It's not like there's, it's, the date checks out, I think. We don't have a pre-patch date yet. We're just speculating. Tomorrow is still raid testing with a new schedule. It's just not 4 hours of raid testing. It is earlier than before though. They used to start raid testing around 1 Pacific and they're starting it around 11. And that means I am ending stream early. Tomorrow, Friday, and then 2 weeks later to the Thursday and the Friday because I am raid testing and I'm not streaming raid testing. I know that makes me a huge Debbie Downer. But my number one priority during raid testing is to get good, clean footage that is as focused as I can muster anyway. And not having stream running is a big part of that. Has playing beta ever diminished your enjoyment at launch? Probably not. I think it would be hard to separate whether or not it's playing beta that diminished my enjoyment or is it full-time content creation that diminishes the enjoyment. Because you have to look at a launch. Like, I still want to have as much fun as possible and kind of know life in game. And I do carve out time to just play by myself without streaming. But a launch is still like technically a work event for me. And there's usually a lot of deadlines. It's usually right on top of Raid Guide release. So I'm usually doing longer days than normal for that. So I've had a hard time enjoying game launches or expansion launches in the same way that I used to, like way back when, just because I'm busier. And I don't think I would specifically tie that to playing beta and seeing the content early so much as just it's like a big deadline cluster for videos and stuff. I'm trying to set up defenses, but my problem is that I'm dumb and I don't know where they are. I'm just looking for sparkly things and I'm not finding them. Hello? Does that count? Have a pulse wave emitter. Why not? The other player left. Oh man. Listen, it's gonna be fine. You guys are just afraid. You have no defenses. It's like we're almost at the end too. Can I literally just chuck those on the ground? Yeah, okay. Or I'll go do the south ones. Half the time I don't understand what to do. This one is particularly obtuse. Some of them I find I get better at the more times I do them. My favorites are definitely Crypt of the Forgotten Kings and then Dark Heart of Pandaria because they're just like real straightforward. After however many attempts, I finally got Molly from Doomgorger Crowlock. Nice. Little patience is so frustrating the first time. The one where you're swinging on and off of the boats tends to get me because I just can't pretend to focus enough to like remember when I'm supposed to leave or what I'm supposed to do in the boat. That one's pretty bad too. A lot of RP stuff going on that my add-ons don't show me. Dark Heart was an instant leave for me early on. The last boss was so hard. We got like bricked on it early. I was trying to do heroic scenarios on... Was it Shellfish? It might have been Squidgy. I was trying to do heroic scenarios on Squidgy to get her ring or something. Ring or trinket, whatever it was. And just like we queued into it. And it was pretty... I was a pretty fresh 70, so I didn't have too much gear or threads yet. And we just literally couldn't do it. I got 2 other people that were about the same power level as me. And we were like talking and we were setting up an interrupt order and we were reading strategies and we were trying and we literally couldn't finish it. It was It was a little bonko. But now I feel better every time I get back in there because I can just go explode the stuff into, you know, cosmic goo. Had the same experience with Dark Heart at the beginning. People warned me too, and I was like, you know, I was thinking like, yeah, all right, well, maybe it's tough, but like, I'm a gamer. I can do it. No. Instant humble soup. Humble stew. Humble chili. I didn't remember to bring my water bottle, but I have like a pot of herbal tea that's medium warm, and I'm just gonna drink that instead of water for a while. It doesn't have any caffeine in it. It'll be fine. We good? We're good. We're done. We're out. What date would your guess be for pre-patch? I feel like you probably have a decent idea. I have no idea. I don't know anything. I'm guessing a month-long pre-patch, so late July for pre-patch, somewhere in the 22nd or 29th, but I have no idea. I could be wildly wrong. It could be shorter, it could be longer. It's more likely to be shorter than longer. I would be surprised if it was longer than 4 weeks, but it's possible. Anything's possible. What are we doing? We're in queue for a dungeon, and then I think we did both scenarios. We did both scenarios. Good. Thanks for the confirmation on the pre-patch date. You heard it here first. Yeah, I'm always guessing just as much as you guys. Like, if I ever did know anything under the table, I would be under NDA and I wouldn't be able to say anything anyway. I don't, but if I did, you wouldn't you wouldn't get it from me. I like rules too much. 2 to 3 weeks for pre-patch. If it's good. I think the reason I think it's gonna have some time is because I know they've put in some kind of gear catch-up event, kind of similar to the last pre-patch event that we had. I guess it didn't take that long to do. I don't know. What someone who knew would say, etc. No. If I know, you'll know that I know because I won't touch any of the questions. I'll just skip them. And you can't prove anything. Early access starts on the 22nd at 3 p.m. Pacific. If you know, blink within the next 5 minutes. Should I be doing anything while I'm sitting in this queue? Should I be upgrading? Oh, oh no, that's right. My weapon upgrade's not next to my list. I'm doing other stuff. That's right. Are you a bad liar? I hope so. It's better to be a bad liar than a good liar, right? You don't want to be a good liar. That doesn't say good things about your character. But yeah, I don't know. I'm good at avoiding stuff that I don't know how to deal with. That's like my move. Okay, we can't do that one. Can't do that one. Could do that one. So I still have chest and legs and then boots. So let's do legs first. I only do legs before chest because my chest is still blue. It's blue. Save up for the next one. I cannot. All I want is an epic chest with 2 secondary stats on it. I don't care which ones. Just not tertiaries. No speed, avoidance, leech. And all I get are chests. Well, I almost don't get chests at all. But when I do get the rare one, it's like strong stat avoidance. And it's like, I can't put that on. I just can't. My goodness. Pacific Northwest trade. Avoid conflict, passive aggressively try to make conflict go away. I mean, if you think about it, if you had a problem and then you time traveled like 200 years and you thought about how important is that problem still. Some of them, sure, you know, climate change, that's a zinger. But most of them, in 200 years, no one's even gonna remember. They might maybe have a record of whatever happened, but like, it's not that big of a deal. So, and then I just take that thinking, and then I just scale it down, where, yeah, okay, it's still within my lifetime, because I'm only allowed to live within my lifetime, because I haven't figured out the time travel thing, and I'm not trying to. But, you know, like, if you just ignore it long enough, sometimes they go away. Sometimes it means that you've defaulted to a choice that you wouldn't have wanted to make, but hey, the problem's moved into a new phase. Maybe this phase doesn't stress you out so much. Look so bad. Thank you for the 15-month resub. Appreciate it. Did you end up getting most of your epic gear from heroic raids? I think I got all of it from heroic raids. I don't think I got a single thing that was epic not from heroic raid. I haven't done mythic raids yet. Galleon? Is he up? I must have missed him. Here, we'll bring out his bring forth his children. Just to taunt him. Ignore Hazel's advice and ignoring things. There you go. Yeah, it's not good advice. It's just my MO. Macy does thank you for the 27-month reset. Feeling a little bit of WoW burnout currently, but I don't want to suffer from FOMO, especially the mounts in Remix. The good news about that is that the Remix exclusive mounts that cannot be farmed in-game are fairly cheap. The most expensive ones are like, I think still under 5k bronze. So even if you just like level 2 characters with the power leveling thing, or you farm for like 2 or 3 days of dailies, maybe more 2 and 3 days of dailies, but that's a fairly reasonable goal. It's just getting like the cheaper vendor mounts. Hi Hazel, how are you? Do you exist today? So far, yes. Can't speak for later in this week, but for right now, we're doing all right. Farming random mobs trying to force weapons to drop will get you some epics. Feels a lot like the old Y Legion BFA Titan Void procs. Couple of purples and low-level alts from killing a random rare. I haven't gotten to my trove tally farming. The best I've done has been changing my loot spec to be survival so that I can get pole arms to drop. Because if I filter my trove tally to beast mastery, I have almost everything. I'm missing a 10 long steps bow. I'm not doing Siege of Orgrimmar mythic. And then I'm missing a Throne of Thunder LFR bow as well. So I'm probably going to do some of that at some point. But then if I'm looking at survival, then I need all kinds of pole arms still. So I've been just mainly keeping my loot spec on survival. And I've been getting some mugs. There was a priest in Throne of Thunder that I went to yesterday that kept being like, hey, do you need that mug? And at first I was like, yeah, I do. But then I got another one to drop and they were like, do you need that one? And I'm like, nah, okay, I can share it. And they were so happy. They tried to trade me bronze. It was so cute. You can't trade somebody bronze, but they tried to give me one of their greater bronze caches. They like put it in the trade window. It was adorable. What if you did mythic? Do you have favorite mop music from a zone or a dungeon? I feel like the kazoo song comes to mind, but I think that's just because it's memorable. I don't know if that makes it my favorite. Can I find that? How far did it? Oh, it's way under there. Kitty, if I'm gonna get that headphone back, I need to like get up. Sorry, baby girl. Either that or we need to go on a really long chair scooch. You want to try? One sec. No way. Not happening. There we go. I got music again. I've been in my life when I've been waiting for world bosses to spawn, I've been enjoying various toys. The rainbow chair is always an easy pick. Oh, not the rainbow generator. It's like a colorful beach chair, isn't it? That's what they call it. LFR monks, you have to loot them yourself. I haven't been asking anybody for their gear. I'm too shy. I wouldn't be taking trades anyway. Alright, you want to see my favorite new toy? It was I spent like 50,000 bronze on it. Yeah. Maybe Fluby will help me out by pulling out some pets that are definitely not emotionally important to him. So you use the snail, and then you're piloting Jerry. Oh no, Boshi. You can also kind of ride on the ground with this tool, or with this tool. Wait, no, he lived. With this pet, he leaves like a trail that persists for quite a while. Oh no, not Gary. I say as I aim right for him. So Flip, you're looking real good. So that's what the gastropod shell does. Violence. Death. Destruction. Why am I giggling? Oh, yeah. Worth it. Lovebert. Lovebert, run! I'm not even mad that I had to buy the toy. I didn't really farm it that long anyway. But I'm having a great time. So next, you know, if you have the toy or you get it off the vendor in Remix, next time you're in a raid and one of your raid mates has that singing sunflower and it's going beep boop bee da doo da doo and you're like, death. Gastropod shell. Just chase it right down. You monster. He's just a kid. The train wrecker of annoying pets. Yeah, you're not fast on it, so you're not really killing anything that's not standing still, but it's still fun. Forgot about the singing sunflower. I'm bringing it to my heroic siege tonight. Absolutely doing that now. Hate that creepy sunflower. Now that I've mentioned it, I have to pull it up. Singing sunflower. The Lawn of the Dead quests were super fun. The whole Plants vs Zombies thing. Hang on, we need. I think I have in my sound options. I have the pet idle and aggro sounds are hunter pet sounds. Emote sounds maybe are what pets would give. I don't know. Maybe that's just the train sounds. How do I make it make sound? I'm clicking on it. Maybe I summon and resummon. I don't hear it. I'm pretty sure I have sound on.
Sunflower.
Oh, there we go. Fastest SM I've ever done. Less than 5 minutes. Nice. This is a long dungeon queue. What are we in queue for? Like a random normal? It's probably because people spam heroics for leveling, so those queues pop really fast, but you only do a random normal like once in a day. My threads are up to 122,000. But this is the slowest part of the day, especially if we don't camp any other world bosses. I'm mainly just waiting for the last dungeon queue. And then we can start looking for heroics. Maybe a world tour, or maybe get siege over with early or something, I don't know. Wish they would have expanded on the Plants vs Zombies minigame. Here we go. Hope you had a great weekend. I was the Save the Frogs Pal Eater TOT yesterday. That was a fun run. You guys were smoking through that place. It was awesome. It was like late in my day and I was like, there's one raid I haven't. Oh, dialogue sound. Calm down. Let none escape. Emote dialogue off. Yeah, it was late in my day and I was not willing to rerun Siege, but I was like, I need just a little more bronze. I haven't done Throne of Thunder yet. Let's look for a fast one. And then you guys were real fast. Don't have the patience for world bosses. They're not bad if you find groups up for them, but if you're also waiting in queue for like a dungeon or an LFR or something, then you don't want to look for a group because joining a group would kick you out of your queue. Oh, that's a dead tank. It's okay, I think Fluby's tanking. Fluby was pumping. He does do that. He's real good. I'm just gonna get a head start on this trash. My pet's here. I don't have a pet! No pet! What? So I watched a couple months ago, I don't know, recently, the new Wonka movie with Timothée Chalamet. And I actually really liked it. I like musicals. It was goofy. It was a cute movie. Sue me. Don't sue me. But there's a line in it where he's talking to you know, like a woebegone orphan, and he's like, well, what kind of chocolate do you like? And she's like, I never had chocolate. And he goes, never had chocolate? What? And it's the funniest line delivery he's ever done in his entire life. And it will stick with me for all eternity. Okie dokie. I have some more gear upgrades I could send. Should we do timeless bosses real quick? Timeless. Those ones are fast. Those ones go real fast. Then rates? They're good threads. Gnome's having an amazing sprint animation. It's so fun in Remix once you get going fast enough because you'll be basically always sprinting. Like your walking is your regular sprint animation. Poopy race change? He is a Nelf. He's just using a... How did he do it? Did he use a neural thing? I don't know. Some toy or another. Either like the neural reformer or maybe like a transmogrifier. I recently learned that Tim is being called Hot Rodent Man on the internet. Seems a little mean. New Wizard of Oz prequel coming out this winter. Are you talking about Wicked? like technically yes, not untrue, but yeah, wow. Cuz like the Broadway musical's been a thing for a long time. And the book, I actually have a copy, my uncle gave it to me when I was a kid, of the book that the Broadway musical is based off of, which is only loosely related to the Broadway musical. It's not by the same author at all, I don't think. Yeah. It's if you go into Wicked and you expect it to be like The Wizard of Oz, you're going to have an interesting time. It's got some of the same characters. It is technically a prequel, you're right, but like the tone is wildly different. Is it weird that the biggest thing I'm excited about in The War Within is the Warband Bank system? Oh, timeless coins, thanks. No, I think that's really high on my list too. Warband systems in general. I think my top one is just being able to collect Mog on classes that you're not playing right now. I think that's probably like prime on my list, but those things generally are the thing. I'm more excited for those than I am for like Delves and Earth, and new zones and raids and dungeons are great, but they're always great. I'm spoiled. I take those for granted. Okay, and then... Oh, who's good? I don't always do it like that. Slash flex. When is Flabby starting his masterclass so I can get as good at WoW as him? Flabby's coaching era. If Flabby ever starts coaching, I'm going to have to come to terms with the years of unpaid coaching I've mooched off of him. Gonna have a big bill. Get transmog on any class? Mm-hmm. To send something to the Flabby Kofi. Oh, there we go. We're ready to go. Okay, so now we're gonna hearth. I'm probably gonna grab my water bottle because you know, friends don't let friends, and I'm my own friend, do Siege of Orgrimmar dehydrated. What are you gonna spend your Garrosh toenails on? I want it all. I want tusks and all the heirlooms. I'm not spending bronze on stuff just yet on this character. I'm still upgrading my gear, but I'm almost done. I have not got everything I wanted. I've only kind of barely started the vendors, honestly. I've chipped away at them a little bit on some other characters, but this character's been mainly focused on upgrading gear. And then not quite enough for that. But after I do the boots, I'm ready to begin my last upgrade level. gonna scrap a few pieces of gear, grab that water real quick. I'm not even gonna... Oh, no, not those ones. Those are my Dora Shadows boots. For all the good they do me. I think Garrosh trims his nails, though. Maybe that's where all these little pieces are coming from. He's just sitting on the throne with his foot, like, cranked up in the air in front of him, and he's just working on his pedicure. Another alt today to power level. Ooh, what you leveling? Also, I will be right back. One sec. Okie dokie, let's see what we can get into. Also, Kitty, you coming back? You wandered out, but then you wandered right back in. Where to first, do you think? Kind of awful when cats do it and you hear the squishy sound. What, chewing on their nails? Squishy toes. Sometimes Kitty will like I swear she's pressure washing her fur. Like she'll suction her mouth onto one part of her coat. Like some kind of a sci-fi alien. And then you'll just hear like these really wet, like slurping sounds. and then she'll groom it all out and then she'll move on and do it in a different spot. It's not all the time. But sometimes you gotta break out the power wash. Kira and Moose getting a little more casual with each other. Yeah, they had a few more visits. Mainly credit to Kira because she decided she'd had enough and now she's realized that if she goes to the gate and she meows or just starts bonking into it, one of us will open it for her so she can come into the front room. And she's decided that despite the big dog that is in the front room, she's had enough and she wants to come back out there. So we only do it when we're both there to pay attention. I don't have the gate open while I'm streaming or anything because the last thing I need is for them to have a bad interaction while I'm live and distracted. But they've been doing good. She's been wandering in. Moose has been very good. Even when she was like walking around and he was like standing up and fully awake and not like snoozing. He left her alone. He was watching her, but he didn't like approach her. He sniffed a little bit and then she hissed at him and then he backed off, which was perfect. He's being such a good boy about it. So they're doing great. All credit to them. The first time she came in and wandered around and he left her alone, I was so proud of him that I gave him like a surprise piece of banana. I just grabbed a banana off the countertop because I just wanted something to give him that he was going to like. And then I think I confused him because he didn't even eat it. He just kind of like chewed on it for a while. Cork, thank you for the 39-month resub. We had a puppy come into work the other day. Week named Squishy Paws. Oh, way to read the room, Moose. We also recently started... I got him a different harness that is one of those, it like front clips in a way that turns him around if he starts pulling too much. And he's been walking real good on it. We had to do like a bunch of training with it the first day to help him understand that he has to not pull and then we'll stop him and make him come back if he does. But after basically like one walk with it, he's been beautiful on it. It's been lovely. He didn't want to put it on at first because I think he realized that he couldn't be crazy while he was wearing it. So I would pull it out and he would like jump around a bunch and be like, no, I want to wear my other one. But I was mean and evil parent. So a few times I was like, okay, if you don't want to come, then you don't have to come. And I put the harness back in the wall and just went for a walk by myself without my dog like a monster. And after I did that a couple times, he changed his mind. Do you celebrate pet birthdays? I do now. I didn't used to. I didn't used to worry about it too much, but nowadays I'm too smooshy. So Moosey got a special birthday dinner. And then Miss Kira's birthday is my birthday, so I try and spoil her a little extra on my birthday. Because I don't know when her actual birthday is, but I adopted her on my birthday all those years ago. Ma'am, you're messing with my fashion. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Spoilt Bat. I hope your kitty feels better soon. Been to your VODs. Thank you for your content. Oh, cheers. Are we good to zone in? I'm going to try zoning in. How do you feel about pugs as in dogs, not random WoW groups? I feel like it's not their fault that they can't breathe, but it's sad that they can't breathe. It's not my preferred style of dog to seek out, but I don't judge the ones that exist because it's not their fault. I thought you talked about WoW pugs there too. Yeah, with a WoW pug, sometimes it's their fault. Think they're cute, but I feel bad. They don't. Oh! I almost did it again. It's a good thing I was too far from Immersius. They don't. Like, I think all dogs are cute, and also all of the cats, even the funny looking ones. But if I was ranking them, which I wouldn't, because that's horrible. What are they called? Brachycephalic? I don't know. The squash faced ones are lower on my list on both of those because they just remind me of how people did that to them. It just seems inhumane. I don't know. They don't work good. They're sweet though. I've known some lovely Frenchies. If you were to rank rodents, how would that look? I saw a vole once and it was the cutest thing I'd ever seen, but I didn't own the field that it was tearing up, so I think that helped. Desert mice with the skinny kangaroo legs. It's just making me think of Dune. Furry noodles. Ferrets. Are ferrets rodents? I guess I don't know what I thought they were. Mongoose. Are mongoose rodents? Google. Is mongoose a rodent? Mongooses are not rodents. They're members of the Herpestidae family, include civets and meerkats. Is ferret a rodent? Ferrets are also not members of the rodents. They're mustelids, like badgers and weasels and mink. And its wild cousin, the European polecat. TIL. Okay. Should we do scrolls? I'm not 476, so I'm not gonna be the biggest pumper, but I'll do my best. Thought you said calling Tim a rodent was mean. Feels a little mean. I don't feel like people call each other rodents as a compliment. Like, if someone said that I was a rodent, I would be like, you're not my friend. I don't think you're on my side. That feels uncalled for. It was the kangaroo rat specifically that made me think of Dune, because Paul's chosen Muad'Dib name was named after the Arrakis little kangaroo mess looking thing. I do love a good chipmunk. I don't know if we have them on the island, actually. We had them in Oregon. I would see them on this little rock while I'd go for walks by. Let's go! I want to watch Dune, but my attention span doesn't. It was a cool experience. It is a long movie. I feel like the format of the movie is unable to truly capture the essence of the source material, just because it's a movie. No fault of the movie makers. They did a great job. So what you end up with is this almost like Mad Max-esque thing where it looks really cool. And everything's kind of like creepy and mysterious and etc. But it's more for the effect because, like, even though it's fairly congruent with the source material, you miss a lot of context when you're just watching the movie, despite how long it is. And also, I don't know what they were doing with Shawnee's character, but stuff. Do you think there is a movie that really captured the book? Oh, probably. Lag. Must be something. It's not a movie, but the first season of Game of Thrones was pretty close. No, I don't think it's an OCE leader. I think that there's just somebody in chat recently said that it was that the loot lag on Remix is just because the servers are crying from everybody's like abilities and procs and everything, and I think that's probably possible, especially because it seems worse in groups where people are doing tons of damage. Also not 2 hours like a movie. Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of books that I've read that have been adapted into movies. I mean, the wizard books from She Who Shall Not Be Named were pretty close early anyways, like the first one. They definitely did some weird stuff with the later ones and the characters and gave a lot of Ron stuff to Hermione, but what do you do? Lord of the Rings? Yeah, that one was interesting. I rewatched that one not long after rereading the books. And it's pretty close, but it's one of those things where it's impossible to be perfect. I guess it's always impossible to be perfect. Just because of how much source material there was. I don't know how I feel about this new stuff that they're making. I heard a rumor that they're not casting Sir Ian McKellen, and I just want to know if he's okay with that. You know, because if he just wanted to retire or like not do it, then that's understandable. He's earned himself some good naps. But like if he wanted to do it and you didn't ask him to, how dare you? He said he would do it if he lived long enough. He doesn't know if he does. Did we break it? Too fast! When they replaced Scar's actor in the Lion King live action. The Lion King live action was such a confusing. Who wanted this kind of film? I'm convinced that they were only redoing all of their old films just to renew the IP on the, like, just because some of them were getting really old. Or just because they're out of ideas or something, and they know that reboots will get some people to watch them, but all the live action reboots have been, there's been a couple of good ones, and they're usually the ones that don't try to recreate the original movies, but the live action reboots of the Disney films that try to recreate the original movies are just so strange. For what? You know? Look, it's me. Yells at clouds. Is it a good one? No, it's versus speed. I need it to be 2 secondaries. I know it can happen. Jungle Book was good, but I'm sick of them. What was the best one? You could make an argument for the Maleficent movie being very mildly based on Sleeping Beauty, but it was like a complete perspective shift. It was, in my opinion, like a new movie. That was vaguely rooted in the same fairy tale, but that was, you know, nowhere close to like the reboot of you know, like the Lion King, for example. Yeah, but it was good. I liked it. I thought it was cool. A Dalmatian one, maybe. I liked Aladdin. I actually wouldn't mind watching that one again, Will Smith aside. Thought the Cinderella remake was good. I think I missed that one. I think I'd stopped watching them by Cinderella. I also never watched the new Little Mermaid. Mainly just because I was burned out on Disney remakes in general. Cruella was alright. Cruella was fun. Yeah, the problem with Will Smith was mainly just that no one's Robin Williams. And that Will Smith, correctly I think, didn't try to do Robin Williams. He tried to do his own thing. And if you'd never seen the original, it probably would have been charming, although the CGI was frightening. But for everybody that grew up with the original, there's just no touching it. And it just feels like heresy to try and reinvent it. Yeah, I like the Glenn Close 101 Dalmatians from the 90s. Did they do it again? Because no. Yeah, release date of War Within has been confirmed. They posted. They promised. They pinky swore. Most frightening CGI ever, Mike Myers and Cat in the Hat. Well, what about cats, though? What about Jason Derulo in Cats? Did Cruella? I guess that isn't the same. Cruella was kind of along the lines of Maleficent, where it was a new story basically on the same characters. I can't sit here and complain about Cats or Cat in the Hat because I didn't watch either of them. I just saw the trailers. I am prepared to hear complaints from people that actually watched it, and also to offer my condolences for, you watched it. Would have bet you watched Cats. Yeah?
4, 3,
You'd bet wrong.
2,
Seems up
1.
your alley. The Cats musical, I know some of the songs from it, but I've never seen the show. And my understanding is that the show doesn't translate very well off of a stage show because a lot of it is designed to be live and, wacky and in person. And that if you take, I don't know if it involves, audience interaction or something, or improv or whatever, but, when you take that element out of it, the whole thing just gets kind of weird.
Stay away from lines.
Watched the original Cats musical, didn't like it. Do you think they'd ever remake the Aristocats? What if they redid the Aristocats, but they made it more politically correct? And instead of cats... No, it has to be cats. They just use real cats. I would rather them just film a real kitten wandering around in a keyboard and dub right over it than CGI some nightmare fuel cats, honestly. Also, I die in this trash room every day of my life. This group seems to be going fast enough. Good, good, good. We're going. Let's press all the buttons this time. See if I can get on the meters. I moved some of my gems around and I'm not convinced that I did it right.
2, 1. Beware.
Flabby told me that stat penalties don't make you not gain any more from them at 100%, but it's a different number. And it made me upset because I barely understood the numbers to begin with, and if they don't mean what they look like they mean, then I am completely lost and out of my depth. Anything good? Oh, another chest! Versa Avoidance. Can't catch a break. I'm also curious if any of you watched the live action Mermaid. I wouldn't say the 2-hour leveling video went viral. It's doing well though. It's performing above pay grade for videos in my channel. Although videos in my channel suffer from being run by me. Just to say that I make them almost never, and when I do, 5 weeks late. We're working on it. Ish. This week might not have anything special because this week I'm pretty busy with raid testing. Watched it 4 times so far. Ooh. My video or The Little Mermaid? This is an important distinction. If it's The Little Mermaid, that's a pretty good review against it. Or review for it, in favor of it. Mm. Oh, my video. Oh, thanks. Mm. I had a nice couple of days off. It was really, really lovely to sleep. I slept a lot. I did go fishing. I got up early to go fishing on the Monday. And it was nice to get out there. I didn't catch anything, but it was nice just to be outside. But I wonder if maybe I should have just slept in, because we went like pre-coffee because it was a place that didn't have any facilities. So I figured I'm just going to go fish for a couple hours and then come home and have coffee at like 9 or 10 or something. And that is what happened. But it turns out that when I'm really tired and I haven't had any coffee and I'm not catching any fish and I'm getting like my fishing gear hung up on kelp and rocks and stuff because it's a new spot and I'm not used to fishing it, and also it was a pretty tricky spot to shore fish, I'm not a happy camper. I don't think I was very good company. I was cranky. I'm grumpy, Hazel. It was also there wasn't really a good spot to stand on the rocks. They were pretty uneven and tilted and sharp. So it was difficult to kind of find a spot to perch, and I kept thinking, if I do catch a really big fish, it is going to send me into the sea. Gonna try to do a bit of the classy achievement for my almost solo guild with your method. That's me at the grocery store. Pre-coffee and cranky. I love grocery shopping if I can go in the evening when there's barely anybody else there. I want a wide open parking lot that I will still park towards the back of with like 3 spaces of open space on either side of me. I want to be able to just like wander through the aisles and double back and turn around and go against the flow of traffic and have it not be a problem because nobody's there. I don't care if the bakery's not as fresh or if the fruit's been picked over. That's fine. I'll find something to eat. Queen of the late night grocery shop, or at least, within store hours. I used to live by a place that was open till midnight, and I would go get my groceries at like 11 p.m. But they don't stay open that late in the city. Really? Because my cat did my grocery shopping like 8 a.m. on Wednesdays. I've heard that early is very good too, but if it's my day off, unless I'm going fishing, I'm staying in bed. I'm catching up on sleep. I'm still trying to figure out my sleep schedule. I'm feeling better than I was towards the end of last week, but I'm gonna have to see if I can sustain that through a whole week. Find a Winco. I'm not sure if we have that here. I live in Canada, on Vancouver Island. Are there Winco in Canada? Is Winco the same as Costco? Winco makes generators in Canada. A lot of things in Victoria close pretty early. It is not a city with a big open lake culture. I don't know if there are 24-hour places. I bet you the Walmarts are open kind of late. Let me see. Walmart Victoria hours. Our local Walmart, no, it closes at 10 p.m. Maybe they stopped doing night shifts when they realized they were waste of money. Feel the same way about grocery shopping, but early and empty. Do you have a Denny's? We do have a Denny's. I drive by it all the time because it's like on the main drag into town. Never been there. I feel like it's a mistake. Oh, that's probably 24 hours. Let me find out. Just let me see. Victoria, BC Denny's hours. 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. So we're getting somewhere, but not 24 hours. They close at 11. There's surprisingly good ratings on Google. I guess maybe people have... You know what? It's me that it's not giving Denny's a chance. I'm sorry. I owe an apology to Mr. Denny. But I also don't really need to go buy, like, frozen pizzas and eggs at 2 in the morning. Should be in bed. You do not need to give Denny's a chance. Denny's is so good. I think that Denny's isn't the right kind of food for me to have a good time. I think it's just not my style. And that's okay. I'm not saying I'm too good for Denny's. I did an IHOP once because I was in Oregon and I was like, it's a weekend morning. and I'm going to go have a weekend morning breakfast at a diner. I had this fantasy that I was going to be like a regular at a diner, and I would just keep going until I was one of those elderly people that is a regular at diners. But I would start early, you know, so that I could get like my table reserved. So I went to an IHOP one time, and I was so uncomfortable, and the food was really not very good, and it took kind of a long time to come out, and it was kind of cold. And then I went, well, I did it. That's the fantasy. So there, you know, it was just the one, and I'm sure not all IHOPs are like that, and maybe that IHOP was just having an off day. But it kind of cured my craving. There's a place in town that does a smoked salmon eggs Benedict, and if I'm trying to get breakfast and spend a bunch of money on it, that is the move. It's so good. There's also a really good food truck that does like breakfast potatoes, but like with a variety of toppings, and then you can get those with like eggs and sauce and like fruit and whatnot. Morning people, it's good stuff. Is Tim Hortons wonderful in Canada? Not anymore, is the general consensus. Don't get me wrong, I still like... I like the jalapeno Asiago bagel, and I've recently been getting it once a week on one of my days off in the morning to have just like a takeout breakfast morning on my couch. But I will say it's like you're kind of on the level with McDonald's food, and I don't get coffee there at all. The coffee's not to my taste. It's not good. I would rather have McDonald's coffee by a long mile. Timmy's are kind of nostalgic, and they're everywhere, and they're cheap. That's one thing, is they are cheap, but you're getting fast food. You miss Einstein Bagels? Nah. Okay, maybe a little bit. Einstein Bagels is probably... We have Net Royal Bagels, though. There's a local bagel shop that does these really good ones with this, like, honey vanilla cream cheese that, like, the container's always sticky, and I always, like, walk there, so I get my hands, like, super sticky carrying this thing home. But, they're real good. They do a cinnamon bagel that's like French toast, and you put the honey cream cheese on it, and it is too early for me to be talking about food. I'm gonna get hungry. Got to see the mysterious Canadian Tire on our road trip. One even sold a gas outside. I've heard that some of them have gas. I'm kind of jealous. I could use my Triangle Rewards card. If I got a Canadian Tire sponsorship, I don't think they'd do that, but if they did, sign me up. But yeah, it's basically just like a less glam looking Target. If I had to describe my local Canadian Tire. I think the building literally was a Target when Target briefly tried to make it in Canada before they gave up. And now it's Canadian Tire. Would they pay you in just Canadian Tire money? They probably could. Although I've been literally saving up my Canadian Tire money. I like play the points game. I do the offers. I have the app. I'm all in. This is how cool I am these days. But like I never redeem any of my Canadian Tire money. I have this fantasy that one day I'm going to buy a house or a condo or whatever it is. I'm going to buy a place to live. And then I'm going to buy myself like a housewarming thing of some kind. I don't know what, but some kind of like housewarming thing, new house purchase from Canadian Tire with all this Canadian Tire money. And depending on how long it is until I move and how much dog food I buy before then, it might be pretty good. Because the number, I won't tell you exactly how much I have because I don't want you guys to feel intimidated by standing in the presence of a Canadian Tire money hoarder. But it's at the point where when the cashier's like, would you like to redeem some of this? And I say no, they like give me a little side eye. They're like, okay, all right. But as far as I know, it doesn't expire. Looked about chipmunks on Vancouver Island. There are none. I feel like I've read that before. I think I've made my peace with that particular bit of bad news. It's a bummer though. They're adorable. We have rats. We have so many rats. It's not, I'm sure there are places with more rats, but there are for sure rats here. I'm on to them. Favorite bagel shop in Vancouver? Called Rosemary Rock Salt. Ooh, it sounds good. Yeah, if I ever end up on the mainland, maybe. I will say that nothing in my life really makes me go to the mainland. I managed to grow up from the ages of 0 to like 21 and go like, I don't know, twice, 3 times. Maybe a little, maybe 4 or 5, but to visit. I used to have family that lived there. Do you guys have moose on the island? No, but I named my dog Moose. Went to buy a $200 outdoor set. Free because I had spent that much money to accrue 200 in rewards. Hold the rats down, paint stripes on them. To turn them into like Waldo? I feel like this is a joke that I've missed. You should avoid the town of Banff itself. If you have driving anxiety, that place is a madhouse. I drove somewhere new. That fishing spot that I went was a place I'd never driven before. And I even, on the way back, took an improv route. I went on some road that I hadn't even looked up ahead of time, and I made it work. Oh, turn rats into chipmunks. Okay, that makes more sense than turning them into Waldo. You put a little beret on them and give them a red and white stripy shirt, then you let them loose in the street and wait for someone to notice. Oh, dear me. What else we got? Deer. Raccoons. Everybody's got dogs. My morning walk took a little longer this morning because Moosey saw puppies. He saw a puppy, like a little puppy, and then he saw a few other dogs that he like knows. And on some occasions he got to meet them. He didn't get to meet the puppy, which was okay. Maybe one day, maybe not. Totally fine either way. But he was all ready to meet them. He was like laying down, camping them out a little bit. I had to move him. It is so weird and awesome, but weird that I've lived here long enough and I've had Moose for long enough that I can do my morning walk and I can walk down the street and people will, and this happened to me this morning, wave and go, "Hi, Moose." People know my dog. I don't think they know my name, which is fine, but they know my dog and they know his name, and they'll like, he has friends. I haven't like wildly made friends here, but my dog has made friends. There are people and dogs that he will visit on his morning walk. He'll be like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Good morning." I am Moose's mom. It's the proudest designation I've ever had. Man. Puppies this age. I guess he's a dog now. He's like 12, going on 13 months old. Sometimes they make you look so good. And I know I shouldn't be like worried about what other people think of me and my dog as long as I'm keeping everybody safe. But like sometimes he'll be listening in a way that makes it look like I've just trained him beautifully, which I don't think that I have. But sometimes he'll just be so good and so zoned in. It's like, whoa, that's pretty cool. And then sometimes he's like, "Yeah, Mom, whatever. I'm gonna do this." And then there's like a whole production, and then I feel like everybody's judging me, even though they're not. And if they were, that's fine. But like, I still get in my head about it. But it's funny because he can do both on the same walk. Depending on at what point in a walk someone sees him, they might have a wildly different opinion of my dog. Sometimes at work I accidentally call people Mr. or Miss Pet name. If you could describe Moose in one word, what would it be? Moose is noodly. That's my word. Noodley. Noodly. I don't think they'd let me get away with it on spelling bee, but that is what Moose is. How is he with neighborhood cats? I don't let him approach them. He wants to, but he's a little too excited, and we don't know those kitties. But he will sometimes. He does the same thing he does when he sees dogs, basically. Like if he's excited enough about it, he'll like try to lay down and plant, and camp, like wait for them. And otherwise, sometimes he just like keeps an eye on them or like watches them. But he's got a cat at home. Oh, another chess piece. Does it have good stats? Nope, leech. think random drop T-Monks will be the toughest. I don't think I'm getting them all, even close. I'm gonna get as many as I can reasonably get, and then I'm just not gonna worry about it after that. What breed of dog is Moose? He is a mixture. He is a shelter pup mixture. We did a DNA test for fun, and the top breeds were German Shepherd, Malamute, Husky, Cattle Dog, and then like a dozen other things. But Shepsky, like a German Shepherd Husky, was how you would approximate him to if you were trying to get the meaning across. He's a cutie pie. There's video of him around. He's visited stream before. There's some highlights on the VOD channel, and probably in my Twitch highlights somewhere. I don't have a pet. There's a pet. What if your epic chest drops in the last week of Remix? Yeah. At a certain point, I think it's just going to be... I'm just going to use what I got. You know, it's not like I'm gearing up to try to get into anything. If you're 476, people aren't going to either invite you or not invite you. They're not really going to be inspecting your gear. Maybe they'll add the random drops into the main game after Remix is over. Maybe. I'm hoping they add an arsenal for them. I think that's the right thing to do. I don't know if they'll do it, but I'm hoping that they come up with an item for it, because it feels against the spirit of Remix to have these specific exclusive recolors that require you to play the specific class that can get them as a drop, when they've gone to such lengths to make everything else learnable in every class. Mistake to remove the Garrosh heirlooms the second time. FOMO is bad. FOMO is like the name of their game these days. It is effective and it works, and they can get away with it, and they're gonna keep doing it. Hope they'll add an arsenal, or I'm just not gonna get most of them. Yeah. Like a last minute thing, or they just didn't think it through. That's kind of how I think about it also. Bit strange. Someone's blowing him up. That's a dead boss. I did 6 million and I was 9th. Beautiful. Trading post recolors. Which vendor sets? The class sets vendor. The class sets vendor. They'll have arsenals and they will have ensembles. You also, when you do the achievement that unlocks the ability to purchase those things, the character that did the achievement will get the relevant set for free. So if you unlock the arsenals on a hunter, you'll get the hunter arsenal without having to buy it. And if you didn't mind doing the achievements and you wanted to save the bronze, you could repeat the achievements in multiple characters to get the arsenals for free. I just spent the bronze. I unlocked them once and then I spent the bronze to get all of it. But it's possible. Decided to not bother going out of my way to collect anything, that I will not care that I got it or have it. Yeah, that's a good mentality. I try and remember that once this is over, I'm going to be more focused on the things that are in front of me that are available to collect than the things in the past that I did not collect, especially when I am never reasonably going to run out of things to collect. I do not anticipate, unless I change my life substantially and I start streaming 12 hours a day and doing nothing but collecting, I'm not ever going to actually catch up and finish all of it. Maybe I'm underestimating the impact that the War Within Warband collecting change will have, and I actually will, but I really doubt it. I think I'm always going to have something to work on. And they're coming out with content so quickly that there's going to be no shortage of new stuff to get. So I really don't think I'm going to be looking at a nearly complete, collection history and going, man, if only I had just finished getting those remix weapon mods. Some of them look nice, but I don't even think I'd be able to pick them out of a line. Like later on when Remix is over, I don't know if I'm gonna see somebody with like a staff and be like, oh man, that color was only available from Remix. I love it when this boss, Valkorok, survives until the first
Five,
slime in Mythic and people just
4,
don't stand in them.
3,
Mm-hmm.
2, 1.
Which side are we going to? Looks like a lot of people over there. I'll come here. I won't open anything, I'll just hit things that are open. Method shown in your video, very good, just to make a new ult for some spending bronze. Yeah. The only modification I would make if I was doing it for bronze is I would probably be a little more careful about looting bronze as I go on that character from the bosses and whatnot. Because the bronze does not go to your mail, I found out later. But even just the 40k that you get, still pretty good.
Enrage.
It's nice to have new things coming out that to be excited about.
Bone menu. Enrage.
I'm stoked for raid testing. I'm ready for it, which helps. I'm all set up. I've got it on my calendar. And
3,
it's going to be kind of cool to see the new stuff.
1.
Plus to, get to play a little bit with the priest sets and the priest. I'm going to try, against my better judgment, I'm going to try raid testing on Holy Priest as Oracle and not as Archon. Archon is more user-friendly, more head empty, no thoughts. Basically just press Halo, good job, you did it. Whereas Oracle has a little more... I wouldn't say it's hard, but it's a little more involved. So ideally I would not do that for raid testing because my main focus for raid testing is just to see as much of the fight as possible. And not spend too much time worrying about my class specifically because I'm not making class content. But I was looking at the talents and I just had to try it. I just had to. Well, I'll give it a go. It's not like it's hard to change if I change my mind. How about a Mythic Siege now that you're all swagged out? I want to get through the rest of the heroic raids first, and then we'll see what time it is and we'll think about it. Maybe. Max gear yet? Almost. 466. One more round of upgrades. Plus boots. Do I need to run every raid every day to get to max? No, but it'll help. It'll make you go a lot faster. My main daily to-do list for a long time has been to do the 3 daily quests for the bazaar, and then to do a random daily heroic dungeon scenario, normal dungeon, normal scenario. Because those things can be done really fast, and you get a greater bronze cache from each of them. And then for the raid daily, when I don't have time and I don't want to do everything, I just get myself into a Terrace of Endless Spring, either normal or heroic, depending on what you can get into. And that's like very fast to run through. And it'll give you some bronze from the bosses, and it'll also get your raid daily done. That was kind of my like lazy version of dailies. Mythic Siege 7:30 EST. Is it spoiled if I say that's in my nap time? I appreciate the invite, that's very sweet. But I think that once your gear is done, I think that heroic raids... are pretty good. Come on, loot. You can do it. Okay. At least I'm getting some staff mogs on my hunter just by speccing survival. This group should have the damage to blow up the Siege Crafter without anybody needing to do the belts. Yeah. Normally I don't have the patience to do that much raiding, but it's because I'm so close to being 476, and then I think that once I am 476, I'm gonna be, for at least a little while, excited to actually, like, show off a little bit. Although, it's not like you're the only person 476 around, but, you know. It's nice being on the meters now that I'm, like, 466, and I think at full gear, I mean, I'm not gonna be flabby, but I might be somewhere in the area. Somewhere in the neighborhood, down the street, under the sewers, etc. Today's the last day until I get all the mails. Yeah, I mean, nowadays, with Remix out, now that you can, like, if you get your Infinite Power 12, that unlocks the Ordos Island not only for your Remix character, but also for retail, from what I hear. I haven't tried it, but I heard that that is the case. That you can do the... You can get into Ordos in your account once you've done it once. I want to be tatted like you. I only have one. I like my tattoos. I haven't had any new ones in a while, but I'm taking it easy. The real question is if I can wait until my 40s. Because I had, or like my late 30s, I guess. My idea is that I get a set of them at the beginning of every decade. Or at the end of every decade in my life, because I got this arm done when I was like 19, 18-ish. And then I got this arm done when I was kind of 28, 29. So if I can wait till 38, 39, I do like a leg or something like that, then I can, you know, have different limbs / body areas that are dedicated to whatever I wanted to get a tattoo of at that particular point in my life. Bodysuit by 60. Plus then when I am 60, you know, maybe not all of them will be as aged as if I had gotten them all done at once. I'll have some of them that are a little fresher and then some of them that are nostalgic and a little fuzzier looking. You can get them retouched, of course, but that's not something I've ever done. Will you get a tattoo of me? No. I won't. Neck or head? I don't know. It wouldn't be next on my list. It wouldn't be next on my list. And also, I was going to say maybe when I'm older, but I think that when you are more elderly, your skin becomes quite thin. Not that you can't get tattoos, but I feel like delicate skin to begin with, like neck skin, would be more difficult to get tattooed at that age. Yeah, I don't know. I'm more inclined to do kind of like arms, legs, back. Yeah. Harder to make them look nice in older clients. Mm-hmm. Can't wait to see what tattoos you get when you hit 100. I hope I live. Do I hope I live to 100? I hope I live to 100 if I have good health, you know. I guess that's the trick. Tattoo like Steve-O from said your name. Used to win bets by telling people I have your name tattooed on my butt. I like the process of getting tattooed once you've kind of like gotten comfortable with an artist and you've gotten over all the awkward introductions and stuff. You figured out you're gotten comfy with the whole thing. I like actual tattoo sessions, but that's not a high that you can chase every day if you want to have skin left over for later. See if we can get through this without bugging it. I will say that I haven't done a long tattoo session in a long time. I got my last sleeve done in many, many short sessions, which are much easier to manage. It was because of COVID, but it was nice. I mean, it did mean I had to keep driving like into Portland for it, which was kind of annoying, but, you know, when you're only sitting for like 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours tops every time, it's not such a big deal. My right arm that I had done at 18, 19-ish, that one I did in one sitting, which was long and unpleasant towards the end. Would not recommend. Break it up if possible. Although I know sometimes people will like travel to see a tattoo artist or like go to a fair or an expo or something like that. It's not always possible to do it in shorter sessions. CB, thank you for the 56-month reset. My cornfield of an area has no good artists. Yeah, I was lucky. Did the ensemble fix make it worse for anyone else? Tell me more. What do you mean? I haven't tried to buy any since then, so I'm not personally much help, but I am curious. High pain tolerance? What I'd be worried about when getting tattoos. I don't know how anybody on Earth would rank their pain tolerance, because you've only ever felt pain as you. I guess you could like compare it against other people by seeing who can hold on to this like electric buzzer for longer, whatever, which sounds like a terrible party. But the trick that I've always found for things like tattoo sessions and also dentist appointments, if you've ever had like a really ugly dentist appointment where like, yeah, you're numb, but it's still like real not fun, or you're not numb and they're just doing a deep cleaning and you've got nerves and they're just screaming, because sometimes that happens, is just, I just find somewhere else to park my mind. I just try to keep my mind off of it, because if I'm thinking about it and I'm going, oh no, this hurts, ow, ow, ouch, owie, then I'm having a miserable time. But if I am trying to do math, which is hard because I'm not that good at math, or in dentist appointments, sometimes I will try to remember my French. I'll try to like count and then count backwards in French. Also hard, not very good at French. And then for a longer tattoo, I would just put on, in my headphones, I would wear my AirPods, and I would put on the soundtrack to a stage musical. I used Hamilton for this a lot. And then I would just listen to the soundtrack and I would visualize the show, especially if it was something that I'd like seen a recording of before. Or if I hadn't seen a recording, I would visualize what I thought the show might look like based on the recording without ever having seen it. And that can keep you busy for like a while. I listened to the whole Mean Girls soundtrack that way before ever having actually, like I've still never seen the Mean Girls stage show. I guess I've seen the film now. But I heard the whole musical first because I listened to it while I was getting tattooed. Yeah, I would agree the dentist is much worse than tattoo. I mean, there are areas depending on where you're getting tattooed. I just have my arms done and then my back shoulder, which was nothing, so it's not that big of a deal. But, you know, like right on like your some of the bones are right in the middle of here, like up here is pretty sensitive. Some areas hurt. But I've noticed those areas are also, at least on your arms, small. So like, yeah, it sucks when he's like really getting into the inside of your elbow. But there's only so much work to be done in that space, so it doesn't actually take that long. Harry was really fast. He was good.
Shockwave.
Wrist is a tender area. Yeah. Wrist, elbow, and then up near the armpit was rough. But it just feels different, you know. Don't get me wrong, I'm a huge baby. I'm an enormous infant. But it hurts for like an hour, and then you get to look after it for a couple weeks, and then you have a tattoo in forever. Doesn't make you associate that music with pain. No, but I am much more familiar with the first half of Hamilton, or the first third of it, like up until the guns and ships, than I am with the back half of it, which is good because the first half is more fun anyways. The back half is kind of a bummer. But I've heard the first part of that musical way more times because my session wouldn't be that long. Okay. Thanks, guys. We got some new toenails. We are up to 26 of them. We got some more bronze to go spend. We can look for some more raids. You have a plan for everything you're trying to accomplish in Remix. Not written down. Vaguely, my plan is A, get to 476. B, buy things on the vendor until I get bored. C, maybe farm some Trove Tally weapons. Again, until I get bored. I am comfortable with not having everything. It depends on how long it takes before I get bored. The real key factor is going to be how long I continue having fun for. Let's scrap some extra gear here. And then do a couple upgrades and then look into another raid. Can I solo raids now? Maybe normals. I haven't tried though. I'm still only at a mildly contributing level in these heroic raids, especially when they're like good stacked groups. How many hours do you have? That I can find out. 2 days. 2 days, 8 hours. Okay. If you can only choose one X-Pack to use Transmog from forever, what are we picking? Maybe Shadowlands, because that gives you all the Covenant sets. And the wings and like a bunch of back pieces. Okay. So I think it's time for the final weapon upgrade. My weapon is fully boosted. Item level 556. As is my helm. Maximum power Lifestorm. Nice. Had 2 Taco Bell cinnamon things before my session. Was scared I would pass out. Yeah, I learned that one the hard way too. Food is very important. No one is impressed if you're faint. Don't be that person. Eat a good meal before you go if you're getting tattooed. And then the other thing that I like to do is keep candy on me. I kept Starburst in my purse and I would just eat those on a break. Or like before the drive home and stuff, just to kind of kick my sugar back up. Rating. Yeah, definitely don't drink the night before. And double definitely don't drink the day of. That's no good. That'll thin your judgment and your blood. You guys make me hungry. Alright, this is a MSV HO Mogashan Heart of Fear. Why is Heart of Fear struggling? MSV HOF Toes Tot. 450 plus. That's me. I'm 469. But I'll head to MSV. You guys are making me miss my tattoo days. I used to have a whole ritual. I would have a smoothie like ready to go. Sometimes I would even bring one with me. Or I would just like buy one of those like bottled ones from the grocery store and I would keep it in my fridge ahead of a tattoo appointment so I could have it like right after, right when I got home. I had like all my tattoo aftercare stuff ready, my clean sheets. Don't want to sleep on dirty sheets with an open wound, etc., etc. You know, day out. You feel like you accomplished something. You didn't, but it feels like it. My damage should be, I mean, how much was I doing? I was only doing okay in that one. I don't think they're gonna really need me to do anything, especially in these raids. I think Flabby could probably, like, I think they're gonna die very fast. But if it did matter, I think my damage should be higher because I now have a max rank Lifestorm. All I need is to get my Searing Light caught up and we're in business. The artist I went to moved downtown and I hate driving there. You ever done the thing where you ride the bus with a fresh tattoo, just like slathered in saran wrap? That was how I got home from my first one when I was 18, and I stopped at a Subway on the way home. Like, I got off the bus early and walked to a Subway and just like ordered a sandwich with my, I mean, it was wrapped, but I felt bad because it was hot, it was summer, I didn't have a jacket or anything to cover it up with, and it was like oozing. It looked not pretty. I kind of felt bad for people riding the bus with me. Been on a plane. I remember the first morning that I woke up after I got my very first tattoo and I felt the sheet sticking to my shoulder and I was like, oh man, that really happened. I really did that. I'm gonna have that tattoo forever. But as it turns out, I like that one. Because I'd never done it before. And then I had to fly home because I was in Toronto at the time. It was the only time I'd ever been to Toronto. Take the New York City subway. I was horrified. Oh no! When will we finally see Warcraft in Xbox? I mean, they announced the expansion at the Xbox Shindig Hoedown. That's what they called it, right? I have not been doing Mythic Siege. Is this Heroic? It is Heroic. That's good. It is kind of funny how most of your damage comes from your gems. I think that's why your gear upgrades are so important, is because so much of your damage in Remix is just going to come from your gems, and your gems are gonna, their power is gonna depend on how powerful your, like, the item level of the gear that they're socketed into. So yeah, the cloak's important, but like a huge chunk of your power is just tied to having the right gem socketed into 476 gear. Specific style of tattoo. I don't know if there's like a keyword necessarily. And my two arms look fairly different because I got them done 10 years apart, and the kind of style that I wanted evolved over time. It's more about finding an artist that you like the way their art looks and you like the style of their art, and then sticking with those. I can show you my tattoos a little more close up when I get a chance. I guess I could just be lazy in a boss fight. It's not like they need me. So this is the older one that I had done at 19. It's like a big spooky looking tree with some generic looking flowers on it and then some roots down by the wrist. I probably wouldn't have done the same thing if I got it later on, because I started to want things to be a little bit more true to life. And while that's a cool piece of art, it's not necessarily like a real tree. But I do like it. And then my other arm is more of a sleeve with a lot of different components. So we've got like, there's blackberries, there's red-winged blackbirds. It's all done in black and white, but that's the original inspiration for the birds. There are,
Target you.
I think juniper. I feel like we looked up a bunch of plants that were local and native to the areas that I was like walking and stuff. So you've got like some more like water plants, pussy willows. You've got a heron on this side. and then your other bird's over there, and it goes all the way around. Love that sleeve. But yeah, I don't know what you would call the style. It's like, it's just it's just the style of my artist. It was done by Harry Lau in Portland. Ticket to the gun show today. I know why you guys are here. It also helps me that I've never had to work in a place that did not have a tattoo culture. When I had a real job, I got my first tattoo with my boss. All of the management was heavily tattooed at that place. It was just kind of the vibe of the store. And then after that, I did nothing for a while, and then I ended up doing content in which it's not really a problem to have tattoos. You might lose a couple of people that think you shouldn't have done that, and you must and that's all right, not a big deal. I've never had to do like a corporate job where I like had to keep them covered up every day, even in warm weather. That would be possible, but like more annoying for sure. Red Shamrock, thank you for the 24-month resub. Happy 2 years. Hello, Hazel in chat. Hello. Also, I don't know if I think I got behind on a few of these. I have CB with 56 months. Thank you very much, CB. Aaron Knights at 27 months. Happy 27 months. Hope you are doing well. Thank you very much. And Jacob had a 35-month resub. Thank you. But yeah, I think that when I first was like in 11, 12-ish when I got my first tattoo, there was more discourse around that was saying things like, man, if you get a tattoo, no one's gonna want to hire you, and no respectable man's gonna want to marry you, and his mother won't like you. And there was kind of a lot of that going around, and it's turned out that that's less A, true, B, important, at least in the sphere of the world in which I live. I'm sure it does still matter in some places, which is why it's important to consider your own life before doing things. Hi, it's a good morning, afternoon. Good morning. Or good afternoon. Time is it? 10:53? I'm gonna have such itty bitty baby streams tomorrow and Friday. I'm streaming so short. I'd say I'd start early, but I don't even think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna do some baby streams. I used to stream 2 hours a day. It was later on that I bumped it to 3 when I started taking 2 days off a week. Some extra accommodations for raid testing. What up, Hazelnut? Hello, Prince Joffrey. First one I worked for couple different companies in my industry, and the first one absolutely made you cover your tattoos even if you just worked at call center. Moved to a different company, they didn't have any kind of tattoo policy, just that first company that was too uptight. Yeah, I'm sure there's different corporate cultures in different companies and places and whatnot. You guys haven't given me a hard time about it, so thanks.
Stack high.
It's so fun to just pop bosses. No, I've had a few more epic chess pieces drop. Wait! I was gonna say, but they've all had other stats on them, but that one's good! That's a good one. We're setting that aside. Do not scrap that piece. It has Versa and crit, and those are both secondaries, and that was my rule. I'll get it caught up. It'll cost a little bit of bronze, but I'll get it caught up after this. We did it, team. I'm excited for the next round of raid, guys.
Target you.
Yeah, the left arm sleeve is the tattoos I got at 28, 29-ish. The ones with the birds and the heron and the blackberries and whatnot. Got a traditional Japanese sleeve. Want to get my other arm done, but unsure if I want the same style or something else. Hello, by the way. Hello. Beam Hunter crit Versa. I want to say haste crit, but stats in Remix get wonky once you get to the higher levels of Cloak because you're going to start running up into your stat caps, especially in combat with things like your Enkindle and your Lifestorm running. So at a certain point, you just kind of start gemming for versatility. I'm not really quite there yet, but I have taken some of my gems out of crit because in boss fight burns, I end up, or pardon me, I've taken my gems out of haste because I end up pretty haste capped. Now that I'm kind of like 120k threads on my cloak. But yeah, your secondaries I feel like get kind of wacky because a lot of your damage comes from gems anyway. Okay. And it's over. Oh, there's another one. Is that one any good? Stats? Crit leech. Leech crit, actually. So I'm gonna go catch up my new chest piece before the next raid. I walked into a friend's father's house and he went on to tell me about how another girl he knew couldn't get a job because of tattoos. I have blue hair and tattoos at 48. I was floored. He was so rude. Yeah. Some people we're just not destined to be besties with. I'm sorry that happened. That sucks. I'm going to put this in and I'm going to crank it all the way up. 3k to catch it up. So not nothing, but worth it. Because that has... Here, let's unsocket. Unsocket my old gems. Do I even have the thing anymore? 598 agi. Same amount of agi, actually. 78k stam. Oh, I guess the stam's from the gems. Let's just take that one out. And then we're going to scrap it. Scrap the old one. Just to get the gems back more easily. Not that I really need them. Can you scrap gear that was wearing? You can scrap gear that you were wearing. And then, what am I saying? Pretty good on mastery. Versa's pretty safe if I have extras. I do have a few. I'm actually going to take a little out of mastery and put it into Versa. And a little crit. Okay. So, Heart of Fear next. Wait. Rares. Distracted. Oh, I got a staff. That's kind of cool. I didn't even know I was missing that one. Staff of the Black Ox. It was a green one. Oh, it's cool looking too. Those are nice colors. How was your weekend? Hello, Britt. Weekend good. Weekend real nice. I slept I started a new Stardew file even though I didn't, just because I wanted to. I literally sat down and I read a list of like, I read a few different lists. I must have read like 20 different Stardew Valley challenges that I could do. And I went, wow, those all look really cool. And then I started a new Stardew Valley farm and said, I'm going to do whatever I want. And just started playing the same way that I always do because that's what I wanted. Yeah, this is Remix. Would you be excited for special warband backgrounds based on achievements like beating the Lich King? That sounds fine. Excited might be kind of a strong word. I get excited for strange things, and I get less excited for normal things. Let's not use my reactions as a barometer for anything. The first time I met my partner's parents, his mother asked me if I'd ever
Phase
considered having my
changed.
tattoos lasered. Oh, good grief. It's not, like, nice to give them back the same energy. That's not how we make the world a better place. But, like... oh, man. It's hard not to just want to be snarky and come back with something like, yeah, have you considered doing anything else with your insert hair, clothes, whatever, you know? Like... why have you done that? Have you considered not doing that? But yeah. Have you considered plastic surgery? Oh my goodness. Yeah, no. I don't care. I don't care if they deserve it. We're not putting that energy out in the world. Oh, man. I am in favor of people doing whatever they like with their bodies. I'm not necessarily in favor of, like, all of the visible faces that you see in media being so done and worked on and filled and inflated that people start to think that's what normal people look like and they start to think they need that just to look normal. That's pretty scary and upsetting. I don't want to live in a world where anybody feels like they need, like, filler or Botox or other injectables or whatever. And it's kind of spooky to me that that's a direction that we've kind of gone in, at least in some places in the world. I think it's highly regional, but,
Beware.
you know. I don't think we should be shaming people that had anything done. Can't package and sell being happy in your own body. People just have, and I'm not immune to this, but I feel like there's this narrative that young people are being fed that the only thing they have going for them is their youth, and that they need to hold on to it with everything they have, and that they have this idea that it's so scary to get older and to not look perfect and 22 forever. And that's not the best environment. I don't know about that. You know, let people look old and have that be okay. We can have wrinkles. We can have gray hair. Just let people be, you know. I'm preaching to the choir. No, you guys are not the problem. You guys are not the problem. Yeah, aging is natural, is privilege. It's probably easier to be sage about when you're 30 than when you're, like, older than that, I'm sure. I'm sure there are some people that are like, yeah, it's easy for you to say. You're what, 31? And it's true. I am 31. I'll be 32 in the fall. So, it's not, I don't have, like, the most wizened perspective on it yet, but I would like to... If I stay in this job anyway, it would be nice to stay on camera and be a person that gets older and gets wrinklier and, you know, your hair gets grayer unless you make it pink again, kind of thing. Maybe you wear makeup for fun, but maybe you don't wear it every day. Don't reinforce that it has to be done, or else you've just failed and let people down. You know? Let people be ugly if they want to be. Be a VTuber with a squirrel avatar. Mm. I turned 42 in a few weeks, and the worst thing about getting older isn't the way I look, but the way I feel. Getting old is for the birds. Reminding me to sit up straight. Sanguine about aging. Parents are in their 70s, seem fine with it. Can be certainly possible as you get older. Yeah. I think I'm lucky that I have good role models in my life that have aged naturally and in ways that look fun and exciting to me. My parents and grandparents, as they're navigating aging at their own paces and stuff, like they've done cool things, and they go places, and they, you know, build lives that are important to them, and, you know, no one's really too hung up on it, you know. No one's gonna point out your wrinkles over Christmas dinner. I hear stress makes you age, feel worse doing it. Yeah, but what are you gonna do? Get stressed about how stressed you are? I've tried that. It's not a good idea. It does not help you relax. Mm. Alright. I think it's time for, like, what, toes? I am pleased to announce that I finally found time to paint my nails, and they are pink like I wanted them to be, and they're making me pretty happy. I didn't do any special art or anything on them, and for once in my life, both hands are the same color. This is the part where you compliment me. I'm kidding. Mainly. But what if, you know? It made me feel so much better. They look fine when they're not painted. It's not a problem to have them not painted, but it's fun to, like, pick out a color and, like, sit down and, like, work on it and give yourself some time while they're drying to, like, watch something, or... Yeah. How traditional. I know, right? I feel cute. We're going this way. Need to do mine now that it's summertime. Teacher mode is on pause. Long reset Tuesdays with manicures. Servers won't come up for 4 hours. Let's paint our nails. Need one more quest for the Shadowlands meta. Cordy to do salvage and Ardenweald. No luck on the weekly quest. Ooh. Hope that comes up for you soon. Man, retail feels like such a foreign place to me. I just haven't been. I haven't visited. Am I logging into retail to do the Shadowlands meta? No, I won't go back and do it once War Within comes out. So it's this and then Throne of Thunder, and then I'm kind of like, oh, I should have spent some bronze on my way over. Oh well. Also, now I'm pretty sure I can just, like, mass scrap everything, because I'm not too fussed about optimizing my secondaries. I have Versa. Actually, I guess I have Versa because of gems. I have secondaries on all my epics. I think that's good enough for me. I guess I should maybe keep an eye out for, like, single stat Versa epics or something. But by and large. Should be fine to just throw all this in the chipper. Oh, we're going. We're going. Get in there. Go, Squidgy, go. Unreasonably excited that grateful offerings are on the shared currency list for War Within. What did we buy with those again? There was Mog, right? Like a lot of Mog?
Run.
I'm also curious how much health I'm at now. I should check. 6 mil. I was about to say 6k. I have 6,000 health. 6 million health. That's where we're at. A lot of Mog. So much Mog to finally buy. I'm stoked about Time War badges. Do you think they're gonna leave in? Oh, they probably won't, will they? Do you think they'll leave in the quest that you do for every time walking event that gives you like 500 free badges for doing a dungeon, and you can do it on a bunch of characters? If they make that bonus warband wide, then I can't abuse it by doing it on a bunch of different characters and then funneling. Which is, I mean, fair, but also, weh. Bet they make it once per account, raise the reward? Yeah, I bet you're right. If they get to it anyway. I want to make sure I loot it just to make sure I get all the bronze. Then it's Leishi time. I'm gonna have to do some... I guess I should rephrase. I want to do some transmog collecting in the War Within. I'll have to see how much time I have between pursuing my major content goals. But if I do have time, it would be kind of fun to set up a plan and then use some streams to like really work towards like beefing out my Mog collection. Whether that means like setting up speed druids or just running raids or hoping that I get Mog while farming mounts, or I don't know. There's a lot of different ways that you could frame and go about it. Farming new Mog from quests and everything. Like trying to 100% like the quest just to get all the new questing sets from War Within.
Kill ads.
Where to start? Where to start? The time to start speed druids is now! Yeah, but I'm busy
Phase
and
change.
sleepy. And, cranky. Come up with a couple more dwarfs. Sneezy. Achoo.
Kill ads.
Remix to level 60, to have 60, 70s to farm more raids. I don't think I'd have the stamina to run that many in a row. I think I have about as many 70s as I can manage for farms. But, I don't know, maybe my stamina will change. Who's to say? People were saying that on copied characters, transmog they had in their bags and banks was learnable. So stockpiling did work according to that. I'm still not bothering. Except, I guess I have 1 or 2 pieces I set aside. I'm gonna save my cooldowns for the downstairs phase. Oh, is stockpiling speed gear and remix going to be useful in retail? Good question. Impossible to know. I think the gems almost certainly won't help. I think they're going to give us template gear. I think it's going to be a total waste of time. But it's possible that they convert your gear. We don't know. We've never seen the remix character conversion tested. So a lot of details over exactly how that's going to work are still unknowns. Oh, I forgot to save my thing. I live stormed upstairs. How embarrassing. Tut tut. How are we ever going to kill this boss? Throne of Thundertech. And I guess a couple gear upgrades on the way. My speed gear guide probably needs an update. I feel like it's a bit old. And it may be outdated by now. Oh yeah, I was upgrading this one. This one. These are my final upgrades. It feels so good. We're totally doing it. We're totally getting to 476 today. Oh, yeah. If you could be reincarnated as any animal, what would you want? Who has the best life? There's got to be some real cozy cat out there. Like just someone's pet cat, but that someone just like looks after their cats to the nines. Just gives them like the cushiest life ever. And you can just like nap a lot. That sounds pretty good. Second to last boss is huge bugged out because of high DPS. I had that happen a few times. I might sneeze. Oh no. Throne of Thunder this way. You can still collect Shadowlands Mog. It is very much doable. You can go back and play Shadowlands, work through the Covenants, get your anima. Chief Mouser at Downing Street. That cat has it made. Collect your 2 million anima. For a moment, a brief moment, my heart jumped because I thought you meant that there was like a free 2 million anima cash that you could just collect on a character somehow to spend all, to get all that mog with. And I thought, oh, tell me more. And then I realized that's probably not what you mean because life just isn't that nice. I wish, yeah. I mean, they gave us like a freebie bronze cash for saving the frog. So maybe if like, I don't know. Imagine if they did like a pass and all the characters that didn't kill critters just like got anima. Everybody who didn't complain about Shadowlands on the forums. I have not done Mythic Siege yet. It's the last piece of content I haven't cleared. You get a feat of strength. I don't really care about feat of strength for me. It's fine if they happen, but I don't really go out of my way for them. Any easier and more within to grind covenants. Are they letting you direct pull anima instead of having to go to do it via vendor? That would be nice. They might be letting you do that. Plus, you'd be able to buy the Mog and learn it for armor types that aren't yours without having to use a bunch of characters, presumably? Care more about the title? Is there a title for Mythic Siege? I know there's a title for the her upgrades. There's Claw of Eternus. I wonder if I can meteor chip my way to the entrance. I love these things, they're great. Okay, my aim's not so perfect. Let's go this way. Bless Windweaver. Separate title for Mythic. Paragon of the Mists. That could be me! What does that mean? I guess at this point they're just words. Oh, I'm coming. Wait for me! Kinda cool. I guess I don't know, but I'm imagining in a full 476 group, Mythic Siege isn't so bad. Mont poster, so I kind of really want that title. It's the highest item level to get gear upgrades to. 556, but your overall item level will be 476 when you're fully upgraded because your jewelry and your cloak will remain item level 342, 346-ish. 6 cloak, 2 rings. I guess if I've gone to all this trouble to gear up a character, I may as well try to do Siege once. I don't think I'm gonna... Well, no, I don't think I'm gonna do it today. I don't think I'm gonna stream that long. I'm getting too hungry. But maybe I'll put together one on stream. That might work. Might have to wait in queue for a while, but... Possible to get haste on all slots? Should be. You gotta be careful, though, of how much haste you end up with, especially in combat with Lust and Enkindle and Lifestorm and stuff. Because you can pretty easily end up over cap. And at which point your extra haste isn't doing you wildly much good. Group leader did something during the last Rook dungeon yesterday and forced a lockout of me so I couldn't get my second ring. Oh, that sucks. I didn't even know that was possible. I would have thought you would have to hit, like, accept lockout. What is the haste cap? I'm not familiar with the specific number, but I've got an add-on called True Stat Values that tells me how much penalty I've run into. What my stat penalty is for how much I have. So I can see that with my Enkindle up, I've got an extra 4,400 haste from my Enkindle right now, and then about 100% penalty. Flappy made me realize I don't fully understand how stat caps work, so I may still benefit a little bit from haste beyond that point, but it felt like a pretty good point to start dumping stats into something else. And then depending on how big your cloak is and how upgraded your gear is, those caps may be closer or further away. The thing about Siege is it's just so long. Yeah, even with fast clears, just a lot of role playing, a lot of chit chat. I will be the first to admit that I don't fully understand how haste caps work. It seems that they don't fully prevent you from getting more, but you're getting it at a pretty severe penalty, but I don't know the numbers. I'm, over my head. Hello. Hello, Crystal B. Wood. How are you doing today? Gonna help me prep this whole time before we're in. Thank you. Cheers. I think that's the first time in my life that anyone has ever said to me, I saw your TikTok. Appreciate it. I thought about cutting that moment where Galleon spawned after we threatened him with his children, but I didn't know if it was actually funny. I didn't know if it was worth digging up the clip and then editing it for mobile. Just to stick it on Instagram and TikTok and whatever. YouTube shorts. Best way to farm bronze? Probably alt power leveling. Especially with the mailbox XP cheese that I posted a video about, where you're leaving XP tokens on the ground in Heroic Dungeons and Raids, but picking up the experience threads. And then looting all of the XP tokens at kind of level 41-ish after 3 raid clears. That can get you leveled to 70 in approximately 2 hours, give or take. And gets you at least 40k bronze. Maybe 50-ish, depending on how much bronze you loot in the dungeons. For 2 hours of work. So that's pretty good. If you have a geared character and you've invested the bronze anyways into getting a character boosted up, then clearing through very fast heroic raid clears is also pretty good. And kind of approaches that bronze per hour. Roughly. Maybe not quite as fast, but isn't as finicky, I guess. Not that it's that finicky. It's pretty funny. I think I think my standards for what deserves to be online are not, they're too high, and I should just put stuff out there and not worry about it so much. The internet is full of all kinds of content. Some of it is very well thought out and clever and beautiful, and some of it is straight up deep fried trash. And there's nothing wrong with putting stuff out that is anywhere in the spectrum. People can watch it or not watch it. It's not like Papa Google is going to bill me and be like, listen, this thing was so bad that we're actually going to charge you for the server space. You owe us money for having put this garbage onto the internet. I need to remember that's not super realistic. Although, that would be a TikTok. you want to be proud about what you do, you shouldn't do stuff you're not proud of. That is good advice to some people. Depending on what particular struggles you're working with, that could paralyze somebody, though. If somebody is dealing with anxiety, they're dealing with perfectionism, and you tell them not to put out anything until they're proud of it, they may never do anything ever again. That can absolutely tank somebody's life if they follow that advice. To somebody else, that might be exactly what they need to hear, but it's not one-size-fits-all wisdom. Would never do anything again. Yeah. Sometimes that extra attention to detail and perfectionism is what sets your work apart, so it's not something that you should necessarily let go of all the time, but if you hold on to it always, you're going to have a very hard time getting through life. It is already my reality. Yeah, it's fairly close to home for me. But you also got to pick your moment too. Like, are you? Some things are going to be more impactful in the grand scheme of things. If you're writing up like a humanitarian relief plan for the UN, that's probably something you should be a little more proud of than like a no-brain TikTok that you want to spit out at 2 in the morning. Not that I trust Google to implement it, but I like the idea of charging people that upload really poor content money. There's an alternate timeline where you have to pay to have your videos hosted until they're a certain amount of successful. This isn't a real thing, by the way, but like there's a world in which that would have been the way that it worked, because right now, as it stands, something like YouTube burns money. I don't know if it's cracked profitability. It might have done because of how popular and successful it is, but like they have to host and pay for bandwidth and server space and whatever else. So much content that nobody ever watches and therefore doesn't earn any money in ad views, just for the premise of anybody can upload something to YouTube, and like not having things like, you know, video amounts. Like you can really upload as much as you want, and for the vast majority of accounts, they're burning money on that privilege of hosting this stuff, just on the hopes that the people that do post things that, you know, like they want to attract creators that are going to, and accounts that are going to make them money without scaring them off with like fees. There are videos of a guy counting to 1 million. Many, many videos. Are they popular? It's like old Guinness Book of Records kind of stunts. Twitch has a similar problem. It's the vast majority of streams in the platform are not profitable for them to host, but the whole fantasy of Twitch is that anybody can stream. They have ways of mitigating it, like offering better bandwidth to bigger creators and whatnot, especially during like peak hours.
Beware.
But yeah, hosting your content online is not free for companies. They do it. They don't do it out of charity. They do make their money back, but it was just vaguely related to the topic at hand. I'm also not an expert. I'm only on the creator side. I've never been on the other side. A lot of people use Twitch as storage for their personal raid videos of reviews. That's smart. That's how you get to be a real good raider, is watching your own gameplay back. It's above and beyond. Is getting War Within with a 3 days advance tier worth it? That is a personal choice for people. It's a lot of money. You will not have access to... The season will not have started yet. Mythic Dungeons will not be open. Weekly quests will not be open during that early access. But you get to get in there and level and play when the hype is big and play over a weekend. The early access starts on a Thursday, and the actual official release is on like a Monday. Do with that what you will. I bought it with balance. I sunk like 1 million gold into tokens. Maybe more than 1 million. Maybe closer to 2 million gold into tokens, and then converted it to balance and bought it that way.
Beware.
Bought the Epic Edition for 2 mil as well. I did buy the Golden Scarab mount. I think that the one thing, my one prediction for how early access is going to go is that there will somehow be drama. Something will crop up and there will be drama. That's my wild prediction. Oh yeah, we are kind of running out of time on those black market gold sinks, aren't we? I should take another look at the vendor. I didn't end up getting... I got the mount, but I didn't buy some other stuff. Don't want to risk paying the extra money, have the launch be unplayable. That would suck. That is, I guess, technically possible. I've fallen into the sewer and I feel very embarrassed. It's been a long time since they've had such a rocky launch that the game has been unplayable for days, though. Warlords was the last time I remember that happening. They've had rocky launches where things were kind of dicey for like an hour or two. That like even Remix when it first came out, Remix was pretty wacky, and there was some server issues and login issues for the first couple hours, but they usually smooth it out within the first day. Plus, despite advertising 3 days early access, they have booked it for 4 days, so my guess is that that's kind of contingency in case there are performance issues, that they can still deliver 3 days that they promised to. Don't see the value in the extra few days. I think that, at least to me, it's going to feel like the early access is the real expansion launch, and that if I wasn't playing at that time, I would worry about feeling like I was being left behind. I think that if I played in a more isolated way, like once upon a time, like if I wasn't really engaged with the internet, and I wasn't in a guild and I was just playing on my own, I don't think it would matter at all. I would probably not worry about it, not notice, save my money, and then just play when it actually came out. But if you're more engaged with the community, and I think there will be like a counter community that is like going out of their way to celebrate the real launch date to kind of help provide that experience for the people that didn't pay for the Epic Edition. I think there will definitely be some of that. But plus there's plenty of people that won't be able to take time off that have to work during the work week, and being able to get your character leveled so that you're not spending your evenings during your work week leveling before you even get into the weekly quests and stuff. It's gonna be like a quality of life thing to be able to level your character over the weekend before the week starts. I thought they weren't doing Realm First achievements at all. Bronze, what do you say it is to upgrade gear to max? I think it's in the neighborhood of 600,000. I don't have a pet. I'm trying to bestial wrath. He's at half health already. Oh dear. It's okay. I still did 7 mil damage because of Life Storm. Job done. I've got one button to press and I pressed it. Second damage, no pet. Checks out. Just about the gear upgrades. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Technically, unless I adjust my stream schedule, technically the actual War Within release date, not the early access, but the real one, is my day off. I'll have to think about that. It'd be kind of a downer to not be streaming on the real launch day. But you could make an argument that people will be playing instead of watching. We'll have to see. I'll figure something out. Good Animal Wolf for being to be invited into Heroic. I got to 400 before I started trying Heroic raids, and I started to really perform better in them at 440. Got a blue transmog I needed. That's nice. I'm so close. Uh, 400 overall. I definitely had all of my gear slots filled. There'll be 342. Should be pretty easy with the corner. You get more greater bronze caches in Throne of Thunder, where the bosses count as like late bosses and they give you these big caches. And a bronze grinding it takes to upgrade gear does feel a little silly. When I math it against the amount of stuff I could have bought on the vendor for that bronze, it's bananas. When I consider it as how many days worth of playing for an hour a day that I needed to play to get fully upgraded, it doesn't seem as bananas. It was like 3 weeks of playing casually to get fully upgraded. And then the event itself is like over 2 months long. So by that context, it's not so bad. But yeah, if you're comparing it to like vendor prices for stuff, it's insane. I've had a lot of fun doing it though. Did Ironcon. But yeah, the fastest way to get everything is probably to not even, unless you're worried about the weapons, the fastest way to get everything would just be to power level alts, buy everything with the free bronze you get by power leveling alts. People have been like well done with getting everything off the vendors weeks ago just by doing that. But if you want, if you want to get every of the exclusive weapons, then you're going to have some work cut out for you because you'll need a couple of characters for it. And then some of those weapons come from Mythic Siege. I'm just writing them off. I'm just not going to worry about them. Yeah, I'm hoping for an arsenal too. All my fingers and toes are crossed.
Beware.
Gearing up a warrior and a warlock to get the mythic weapon mods Hunter can't get. It's kind of dirty, but are there... Checking out something. I know that most of the weapons are Mopri colors, so there wouldn't be Warglaves, but I know some of them are like recolors from later sets that maybe would include Warglaves? I don't know. I guess there wouldn't be any from Siege though. Totally play more remix if I could make like 5 Gragdir. I did this the other day and I actually learned a tiny bit more about what you're supposed to do. Not that I'm any good at it, but I learned what the swirls that you're supposed to soak look like and what the things you're supposed to jump over look like. I have yet to successfully jump over any of them, but I now know what it looks like.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Whoa! I did it! First time for everything! It's also nice having 6 male health so that you don't just get like fried randomly.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh, he's up. I was so busy having fun with mechanics, I didn't notice he was back.
4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hold up, you jump over that? Yeah, apparently.
4, 3,
I only know because Flappy told me.
2, 1.
I've only ever done it that one time. I normally just get stunned. Early access Thursday the 22nd at 3 p.m. Pacific time. This is the posture segment of the stream where for 1 whole minute I will sit up straight before I ooze back into goo. And then we don't leave because there's another boss. But the next one's easier. You just stack in corner, blow up. No problem. Heroic Throne of Thunder is so much bronze. You get these big 1250 each caches. Spend way too much of my day at my desk oozed into goo. Sometimes it's annoying because it's like, well, I'm at my desk in the first place. What more does the universe want from me? You know, like, if I'm gonna sit here and do these things that are like anxiety inducing or whatever, can I not at least contort into a crab? And the answer is, well, you can, but it's gonna hurt. Gabrielle Bellinazzo, thank you for the 4-month reset. Gabrielle, maybe. 4th level 70 Alton Remix. We'll have so many options for what to main War Within. Probably stick to Holy Disc Priest. I'm excited to do some Holy Priest and Raid testing. It's gonna be fun. Life storms!
4, 3.
Oh yeah, there we go. When you stack them all up real good, that's when they get big. I'm not doing flibby numbers, but it helps. And he's dead. Did you see the new affixes? What are your thoughts? I did see them. They're kind of boring. I'm expecting them to be basically out-gearable. Like, they're gonna suck if you are barely at the power level required for that dungeon. And if you are comfortably over it, you're not really gonna notice them. Be down for having a druid crab form for tanking. I don't think that the word decapod gets whipped out enough. Does BM have crazy modifiers for bigger gem effects? Where would I look to find out that information? Because I don't know, and I don't know how to find out. Because yeah, maybe I need to swap my gems around. Although, first of all, we have a very big important moment. Are you all ready? Do you feel the energy? Are you excited? I'm excited. Da-da. Da-da. Da-da-da. We did it! Fully geared! 476! Woo! Only took us 2 days and 9 hours of playtime. Down to Alta 4 now. And now all of her bronze is for cosmetics. We got there. We did it. No more spending bronze and upgrades because they literally won't let me. What do we do now? We play the game. Delete her. 1 remix. Mythic Siege time. I gotta go pretty soon here. I am what we call in the business hungry. Do a solo heroic dungeon to celebrate. You're right. That's a good idea. It's gonna have like a level 20 priest doing more damage than me. I'm gonna get into the solo random heroic to like show off. And there's gonna be some priest in there just going pow, pow, pow. Oh dear. I have 130,000 threads in my cloak. And I probably should investigate gems. What I need to do is, I guess the lazy way to do it is literally just keep doing content until I find a BM hunter at 476 that is out damaging me, and then check to see what gems they are using. Because I've been doing fine. I have, yeah. They're doing fine. I have, I'm gonna carry some of Flabby's ults, because, I owe him that much. And I'm doing the dungeon anyway. I'm doing fine, but it could be better. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. Ask Flabby. What will you have for lunch? I think it's leftover burrito bowls. I made a batch of black bean burrito filling, and I heard rice being cooked, so I think we're doing burritos. Yeah, I've got Lifestorm and Searing Light. I also have your normal Windweaver. Slay seems good. Here, let me look at my damage breakdown. So my Searing Light and my Lifestorm, massive. My Hailstorm and Wildfire and Lightning Rod and Meteor Storm are all keeping up. Sunstarter's Flourish wasn't so big on that one. It was alright. Slay wasn't big, but sometimes Slay does better. It just died too fast. Let me make sure I loot stuff and don't leave any random mobs behind to slay my friends here. Thought Searing Light was for healers, I'm confused. Searing Light will scale off of any healing done, including healing done from your other gems. So my Life Storm does healing, and it'll do more healing if the whole group is stacked up in it. And then Searing Light will proc off of that damage. I'm also running Vindication to feed it, and I don't know to what extent that's helping, but it should be something. Yeah, the main strat of the current meta of Remix is for everybody to have Life Storm and Searing Light. Stack up as best as you can and just all pop it at the beginning. Super big. He's so fast! For once in my life. It's always me trying to catch Flabby. But I have 226% run speed right now, and that's before using any cheetah or disengage sprints. Just from double Trailblazer plus my speed. Plus Windweaver. It's gonna feel so bad to play regular WoW after this, but I'm gonna have my fun for now. Went to do Mythic Keys with my guild last night after only doing Remix, and it was a rude awakening. I'm not ready for bosses to do mechanics. I'm not ready. I've gotten used to this. I've been living in low gravity. My muscles, they atrophy. Let me up! I've got Zoomer brain now. I've been 476 for 5 minutes. I'm impatient. Play classic. No boss mechanics there. When are we ready for me to have another hardcore era? We don't have to like wait for there to be an event or anything. We can just wait for a content gap and then I'll come up with ways to make it fun, I swear. We'll bring hardcore back all by ourselves. I miss it. It was fun. Next year. I want self-found hardcore. I didn't get past 20 on it the first time. Hello? Hardcore Remix when? I'd say, do we die in Remix? But that's not true. I die in Remix all the time. Oh, it's a good thing those are a wall. I did not aim that disengage very nicely. We don't die, we just aggressively hug the floor a lot. Excuse me, I'm doing corpse pose. It's a yoga thing. I'm not even gonna use Lifestorm because I want to use it on the last boss. It is kind of fun. I haven't really done a remix or a dungeon without Flabby killing things first in a while. Even when I've been going on Squidgy, I've been lagging behind a little bit. Just not getting there quite as fast. Da-da-da. Yeah, normally when people do this dungeon in like a time walking or something, they'll jump off the bridge to avoid a trash pack, but there's really no sense in doing it in Remix. Can I even loot this? I think we missed a purification at some point. Somebody needs purifying. I want to loot the chest. I need my bronze. It's very important. I've got shopping to do. There we go. I don't know if Feign Death would have worked. There we go. Yeah, I guess I'm now set up to carry friends on power leveling. Crank out the dungeons and stuff. Would be pretty fast. Okay, so I have 8,000 bronze to spend. Let me get my weak aura back for just a second. I'm gonna wrap up stream in just a minute, but before I go, I just want to see how we're doing. Where do I want to work on? Do I want to save for toys, or do I want to do those later and just work on sets? The toys that I'm missing are the warning sign and the campfire, the kiln. They're not that cool, if we're being honest. I think I'm going to focus on sets. Let's keep cranking Raid Finder sets, because we've been making some progress on that. Let's go to Raid... Oh, no, maybe I should wait. Maybe I should save. I've got all these tooth nails. Toenails. Bone teeth? I've got Bones of Manaroth. I've got 26 of them. As much of a bummer as it is to not shop right away, maybe I should save. I've got 8k right now, but if I wait up... Well, actually, I could buy a heirloom. But if I just save up to 38.5, which would be basically just tomorrow's remix dailies, then I could just buy Tusks of Manaroth, and that's kind of sick. The weak ore is called Pandaria Bronze Completion. So it tells me I need to farm another 489k bronze in order to purchase the rest of the things that I'm missing. Elusive Tusks. Yeah, I feel like I gotta get him if I've gone this far. Plus, I'm gonna be continuing to do Siege, so I'm sure I'll get enough bones to buy everything. So I think I'm gonna save for those first. I'm gonna turn that weak ore back off because it's big. All right, I am done for today, but I'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream and Friday's stream are going to be very adorable, itty-bitty little tiny streams, short streams. I will be ending early because I will be going to raid testing, and I'm not streaming raid testing because I am no fun. I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye.